Hey, this is Dennis. Want to get back in the Word. Been out there working all this morning, and I figured we might as well get back in the Word and try to get that out, and all that rest of the work it'd be waiting on me. Take up where we left off. We're in the book of Revelations. We're going to start out with chapter 18, verse 1. And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lighted with his glory. And I can just picture the angel coming down like a big meteor, you know how you see on TV a big meteor and it just lights up the sky. So this angel with great power is going to light up the sky as he's coming down from heaven. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all the nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of their delicacies, all the things they traded. And like I said the last time, I made a speculation on who the great whore is in Babylon, but I don't know everything. But I know one thing. The Lord's going to show us one day. We'll see who this great whore of Babylon is. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, that ye receive not of her plagues. Let me change glasses here. I'm getting old and going blind. Now, to me, this is real interesting because we're definitely in the tribulation here. And it doesn't say who the voice came from. It said, I heard another voice from heaven, a voice from heaven, saying, personally, I think this would be Jehovah God or Jesus. And they said, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, that ye receive not her plagues. And I would think that kind of blows that pre-trib out of the water, the pre-tribulation rapture, because I believe here we're definitely in the tribulation. And God or Jesus out of heaven is calling out and saying, my people, come out, separate yourself from them. Don't be partakers of their sins. Separate yourself. Well, we've read other places in the Bible where God talks about, we're a special people. We should separate ourselves from the sins. And don't be partakers of their sins. That way we're not going to receive her plagues. And we can be just like in Egypt with Moses and them. When God poured out the plagues on Egypt, well, guess what? The land of Goshen's right there in Egypt. And God's people was there, the Jews, and the plagues didn't touch them. But we know since Jesus Christ has come, that the Gentiles that are saved, they're part of the church too now. They're grafted in, being my people. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God hath remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works. And in the cup which she hath filled, fill it to her double. So, to me, the Lord's saying Babylon, that great whore, had persecuted the Christians, and God's going to double all the trouble and the persecution that Babylon put on the Christians. God's going to double it and fill it up doubly and put it on them. How much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously. So even torment and sorrow give her, for she saith in her heart, I sit as a queen, am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. She's big dog, she's a queen, and she's not going to see no sorrow, but God's going to put it on her. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord God who judges her. And I believe this is referring to Jesus. Jesus Christ is strong and mighty, and he's the one who's going to judge her. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lamentate for her. And when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off, for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. The judgment of Jesus Christ is going to be poured out on her. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth her merchandise anymore. All that's going to cease. The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and of fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and all thine wood and all manner of vessels of ivory and all manner of vessels of many precious wood and of brass and iron and marble and cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men. Now this is one thing I didn't understand. I don't see how you can buy and sell the souls of men. But there was a little number C by that, and I looked it up over here. It referred to Ezekiel 27, verse 13. And it referred to them as slaves. So I guess it was just says and slaves and souls of men. And the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all things which dainty and goodly are departed from thee. And thou shalt find them no more at all. The merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing. They're going to be crying and weeping and wailing about destruction of the Babylon, saying, Alas, and alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. For 1 hour so great riches is come to naught. And every shipman and all the company and ships and sailors, as many as trade by the sea, stood afar off. And I could see that. Let's say if it is America, I could see ships out in the Atlantic and the Gulf of Mexico and the Pacific. They just standing afar off and they just watching her burn. And cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What city is like unto this great city? And they cast dust on their heads and cried and weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea by reason of her coastliness. For in 1 hour is she made desolate. Rejoice over her, thou heavens, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for God hath avenged you on her. So God's going to bring this about. And it says that we are to rejoice in the heaven, the apostles and prophets, for God has avenged us on her, Babylon. Well, God bless y'all. Y'all have a good day.